Hey guys, jwmgoalie1 here, and I'm bringing you guys my noob to pro tutorial part 2. This is getting to know your maps. So I'm doing stockpile because it's one of the newer maps in Call of Duty Black Ops. It is the Escalation DLC, and seeing as most PlayStation people don't have it, I decided to do it for that reason as well. But so you guys know, what I'm doing here is I'm not in the game. I'm actually by myself. And what I'm doing for the first 5 minutes or so, 5.5 minutes or so, whatever it is, I kind of messed up there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go run around the map and look at areas. Like, for example, coming up here, I don't know if you can go in there, so I check. And you can't. So, as you move on, kind of thing, I recommend doing this for like 10 minutes or so, especially. Like, this is a really good way to know your maps. What I usually do is this and just spectating, but what I did here is something else which I didn't think of really until I started making this video, that go into combat training and play a couple of games. I only played a 5-minute one, and that is at the end of the video. But I'm checking out areas, like pretty much everywhere in the map that I can go is where I'm looking at. And to do this, you'll have better knowledge of the maps than other people, especially on the first day it comes out. Of course, you can always go the first day it comes out and start playing it. Right here I show you this area. I show it later in the video as well, but from a sniper's point of view, and that comes up just before the combat training game. So anyways, if you just kind of look around the map, find areas that you didn't know about before, or you don't think other people will know about, because I found an area on this map that I did not know about until I did this. And also this area right here, you see how there's a hole there? Well, I decided to go up top and check this out, and you can actually throw stuns, grenades, whatever, except for Semtexes, of course, because it just gets stuck. And then I was going to check if you get it on top somehow, but I don't think you can. It won't work as good. So yeah, just running, checking out areas which will be better to go that direction instead of another direction, which I do show later in the video. Because I do try and jump up in this one area, coming up right here if I'm not mistaken. Yes, right up here. As you see, I will turn around and I will be jumping up here. Right here I'm checking, is there any areas you don't have to climb up? Yep, but no, there isn't. So I wouldn't recommend going that way, because then you are open. Go to this side. When you jump up, go to this side, because you are not in the open, and you will be more prepared for someone to run around that corner. But come up right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I didn't know about this area until later on, or until this video. I was like, that's kind of interesting. I think it'll be a really good place for like snipers for a little bit, but what I do recommend is closing the door, because then you can actually sound whore kind of thing and listen to the door opening and be prepared if you don't see a teammate by that door, and just kind of turn around, look at the door or the gate door, close it is what I recommend doing. And coming up right here, I do try and check to see if you can dolphin dive under, and it doesn't work because maybe if someone on your team was closing it, and then that's where you tried to, because see, I tried and I just hit the gate and I died. So of course I can kill you, but I am just running around here kind of just making sure I know what the map is, what it has to offer, where all the high points are, where all the low points are. Right here I'm checking to see how well this is for cover. And as you see, I do shoot straight through it and hit that. So it's not the best cover there, but it will be better to be behind that than to be in the open, of course. Same here, I try and do the same thing here to see how good, but I have nothing really to shoot at, so it didn't work out too well. Anyways, I'm still just kind of moving around, watching all the areas. I do have about a minute left, and then we move on to the spectating part of this, where you go around spectating. Just to get a higher view of the map, see areas, which I recommend doing that first, because then you get knowledge, and then you run around for 5-10 minutes or so, and then go into combat training and see if certain areas are better than others. In combat training, I only went on recruit, but I do recommend going on hardened. Veteran's pretty hard, but if you can go on veteran, then I recommend it. Right there, I'm checking if that can fall down. But I say about this area because this basically I'm showing areas where you should be watching out because people could be there, especially those famous campers. And I was going to try and double dab under there again, but I was like, nah, let's not. So anyways, this one come to an end. Now let's go to the spectating part of it. Okay, here is the spectating. Of course, you can go whenever. I'm just spectating around. Kind of accidentally go switch users, but it's useless. But yeah, from a higher view, you notice that you do kind of have a better view of the map in areas. For example, the one area that I will go to where it's like this might be a good sniper position, which I do go check that out later, coming up right here soon. But as you can see from the area, is you get a really good view of what the map has to offer and the main routes without cover above them that many people will most likely go. Right here I'm checking out a sniper area for snipers and see how well it works, but what I find out is from the other direction is way better, because basically as soon as it hits the truck you're done. But from the other area you can, which I was seeing if you get above this later on, but you can't. But I'm checking a bunch of areas where there could be lines of sight. I do recommend using an actual person for this because then you'll get the right height. But then if you jump up here, this is actually a really good line of sight, which I do check in a little bit. But for now I'm just going to look around the map and show you guys some of the areas which basically I think we'll be rushing around, because as you can see is around the map area there is a kind of square path kind of thing that just goes around the main building. And those are paths that people will be using to flank. But right here I go and switch to the sniper, and I would use the L96 or PSG1 in a better sniper fashion, because the Dragunov and the WA2000 aren't the best snipers. But as you can see here, you're basically limited to the truck and you don't have that good as cover. But of course if you move over here, I do check out 3 areas from this side in 30 seconds. So I do check if you can go in that, I forget what it's called, but yeah, right here it's a good area. You got a good line of sight and they won't be able to see you too well. So check that place. I really actually I check a 4 places I guess, but I do really recommend making sure that there isn't a sniper there, and be careful going around that corner because there always can. But also these guys have under the truck, which is really hard to see. But now moving on to the game. So I do go into 6v6 TDM 5-minute long to the 750 or 7,500 mark. I use that in 16 because I am combat trained and I am only level 5, so I don't have many weapons. But I didn't want to go into normal game because that won't help you out as much as just going into combat training, because then you will learn how to actually do everything. So anyways, I'm running up here just checking areas which will be good rushing places. I actually think this, to get to there, will be a really huge advantage if you can get there before them, because they will be rushing through that door. Because the center of the map in the building is kind of the main area. For many maps it usually is. For a map that I could think for that would be a good example would be WMD. Most people go to the center of it because it is a really good area. Right here I'm trying to jump down to close. Oh, never mind. I would have closed the door if it was on a regular match, but as you see here I'm going up on this side because he won't be able to see me. Then I come around the corner slowly to check. And kind of some shitty aiming here, but I do get all 3 of them. Look at that kill feed on recruit. Nothing too fancy, but I do die a few times because I don't know, they just did. Because usually on recruit I usually dominate, especially if I have the FAMAS. But I've noticed that in this one they actually have been using equipment, and here's where I die because I was not ready for that guy. But I do throw my care package here. Definitely recommend just staying around your care package. when it comes. Just in the general area, like don't camp in the corner, kind of move around, because then you will have a better chance of getting your care package. Because if they know you're in the corner, they'll just throw a Semtex or a frag and just kill you, or stun or flash, and then just shoot you down. But there, I opened the door, because if you actually do open that door, people will be paying attention. So if you're going through the door, what I recommend is actually just go lay down, and because then you'll see them before they'll actually notice you, and they'll be expecting you to stand up. And if you do want to trick them and you know a quicker area to get around, what I do recommend is opening the door, run away, and go to an area where you think they'll be looking. For example, the area I was at the first, on that kind of sniper pouch kind of thing, if you're actually there, then like right here, I lay down, and then of course I get that guy, and if I had better aiming, because I kind of had shitty aiming there, I would have got him regardless. And of course there I got lucky because he was a sniper, and if it was in a real game he probably would have just panic knifed me. Because definitely recommend of course if you go and recruit, don't camp, run around the map, you'll learn more, and that's what you should do. You should marathon lightweight with a submachine gun, but seeing as I didn't have really any good submachine guns other than the MP5K or the MPK5, whatever it is in this game, that's what I kind of recommend doing, because you get faster running. You're running at 100% if I'm not mistaken, and you won't have. And also, if you have Marathon Lightweight Pro, that's something I also recommend, because of course Marathon Pro, well, you don't need Lightweight Pro, but Marathon Pro, and it should kind of better to have, because then it's non-stop running, especially if you're going into like a private match and then you want to check around, then that's when I really recommend doing it. But here, just about done this noob to pro tutorial. For my next one, I think I'll be doing again to know your weapon, which I almost could have came before this one because they're pretty close. But of course, you gotta know which weapons are strong and what they're strong at. For example, I'm just giving a little example for this one, but I will be doing a more in-depth video. But for example, the M16, it's a far range weapon. It is not medium to close, it's more of a far to medium weapon compared to most assault rifles. But of course the pistols, they're a close range weapon. They're your last defense kind of thing. But here, anyways, just about done. 40 seconds. Gonna smash that guy's tactical insurgent. Hope you guys enjoy this new noob to pro tutorial. I think I'll do it for every game if I continue commentating. Right there, gonna knife that kid with my tactical layout. Definitely also recommend going to tactical. I'll be a bonus for another one though. I'll go more into depth with that as well. But yeah, moving on here. My chopper's getting some kills. This does not go to the limit because it's only 5 minutes and it's so many people to kill, and it's a decent sized map. So we're going to get that, and then the final kill right up here. I was really wishing that would have been a double, but it wasn't. But hopefully you guys like this brand new noob to pro tutorial on knowing your map. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more of these, and see you guys later. Bye.